Good morning, everyone. My name is Gretchen Dixon from MyTelemedicine. So here I'm using my personal address and I'm signing in. And here we are. So this is the dashboard that you will see when you're a member or when you're showing a membership to a potential client. Your name should be here in the top left, your dashboard. A dashing young doctor, or young to me, I guess, is right there. A list of everything that is included in the site, notifications and messages, your choice of English or Espanol, any messages you've received, your account, and all of the benefits. We're going to start today by doing an overview of each benefit that comes with the actual subscription to the benefit. So if you are selling Access a Doctor to an individual or MyTelemedicine to a group, which you are eligible to sell both, we'll go over that, then they will get this benefit for the primary, which is themselves if they have an individual membership, or if it's in a group or they buy a family membership for themselves and for up to 7 dependents, okay? So these are all the benefits included. Going through them quickly, you've got 2 sort of administrative areas, that's medical records and adding a family member or dependent. We're gonna start with the actual benefits. So healthcare advocacy, it comes with your subscription. It is literally a warrior on your path to healthcare to help slay the dragons. They are subject matter experts. They can take care of a myriad of things for you. It is completely free. It's 24/7. I encourage you to try this out, to use them or ask them a question or go to them so that you will then be able to tell the story to your prospects of what healthcare advocacy can do for them. Some of the basic things that they cover, the explanation of benefits, that is anyone who has an insurance, any kind of insurance program or anything, and they're just trying to understand, what do I have, what do I get, what do I pay, why do I have to go to this guy first, anything that's confusing about that journey, they will help you review and go over. They can also give you support if you are taking care of yourself or someone else, and that is to lead you to the correct place for a second opinion, give you some transparency tools. That would be, hey, I need to know a benchmark. I don't have any idea what a knee replacement costs. What am I looking for? What's an average? Who can I use? They can assist you with all of these decisions and things that you need done in your healthcare journey. And finally, of course, the payment part. We know that one of the top reasons for bankruptcy in the United States are medical bills. We often do not receive a large medical bill at the most convenient time. If you take your bill to one of our healthcare advocates specialists, they will literally be able to go with you, see exactly review your bill, make sure everything is in line, appeal or negotiate if there is something that's out of line, and then work on payment situations, payment ideas, and plans for you to pay off your bill correctly and give you any discounts that may be offered. So that benefit, the bill and payment, is available to anyone who has my telemedicine service and who is not yet in arrears or collections with their bill. So absolutely, I would encourage you to show this part, the patient advocacy. It's the part that people are sometimes embarrassed, that they haven't really looked at their program or anything like that. And so they get to it and they feel like they should know. No, it's changing all the times. The rules are changing all the times. Call your patient advocate and make sure you understand what you have. So that is one of the benefits to MyTelemedicine, the healthcare advocacy. Another one, and probably one of my favorites, is speak with a counselor. This is not across the board when you are investigating other telemedicine providers. This is sort of us being proactive and providing this prior to some of the other folks that have done it in the past. So behavioral health, again, 24/7, 7 days a week, completely free to the primary, completely free to all the primary's dependents. As often as they want to use it, whenever they want to use it. This is not just an empathetic ear. This is a 10-year tenured master level counselor. There is no copay. They can help with a myriad of things. If you have any kind of what we would call issues related to stress, workplace problems, relationship problems, substance problems, traumatic events, depression, financial, any of these things, they are capable to talk over with you, give you an ear, give you a good sounding board and reasonable advice. Couple of things about this. This is not for an emergency situation. You will be routed, or your member will be routed to the correct place to go if there is a hint that this is a very serious or urgent matter that needs to be addressed a different way. They will make sure that an emergency service, psychiatrist, whatever it is that's needed in the situation, you're routed to. It's not like, woo, that sounds like a big problem, I'm out. So, with some of these situations, it might not be a deal where it's just one and done. Like, look, I had a fight with my husband. We're unable to resolve. We're not hearing each other. I just need a third party that's not related to him to hear me and tell me if I'm being unreasonable or what we might do to compromise. That might be a one visit situation. And then there might be a bigger one, death of a loved one, something like that, where you need to talk a few times to get through the scenario. In that case, we have 100% follow-up with the original counselor if you so desire. So you look down here, if you see it, 100% follow-up. That means if you have to visit with the counselor a zillion times every day, you may. And as long as there's availability or that person is working when you need to talk, absolutely, you may speak with the same counselor unless you'd like to start over with someone else. Completely up to you. So with behavioral health counseling, we want to make it as convenient, private, and easy as possible. This is a sort of a new benefit to the general population who in the past have struggled to ask for help in these type of scenarios. So we're trying to make it very accessible, very easy, very private. So your employer doesn't need to know that you're going to the doctor or that you're going to see someone if you'd rather your employer didn't know. No one knows what's going on in this portal but the member and the doctor or counselor that they're dealing with, okay? So let's see how it works. As you know, everything on this whole flippin' site is HIPAA compliant, state compliant, legit script compliant, everything. So because of that, we go through a little bit of a process before, but it's fast and it's simple. As we talked about it, this is not for a life-threatening emergency. So, hey, I need to talk to someone. No, it's not really a life-threatening emergency. I'm fine. Needs to know my state because of any compliance restrictions to make sure that we're completely in line with law and HIPAA. What is the reason for your call today? This just tips someone off. Let's see what I'm doing. I am going to strangle my children, parenting issues. And so now I'm going to say, I want to call a counselor. My number that is the most convenient has been pre-filled when I did my records. Let's see how fast we can get a response. Pretty fast.
Connecting to your dedicated counseling services. Would you like to accept the call? Press 1 for yes or 2 for no. Okay, you don't want the call. I'll handle it based on your settings.
That's how fast. So it's an incredible benefit, and I want you to be sure and stress this. We have a generation coming up. Some of you may be in that generation. You know them as the millennials, where they expect very fast service, very accessible mobile service. All of this can be done to please them. And then other generations that might be more concerned with privacy have that benefit as well. All right, back to the dashboard. So far we know that you have unlimited 24/7 access for you and your dependents if you have some, and they get the healthcare advocacy benefit. They get speak with a counselor. That's the behavioral counseling benefit. There's also something called message a specialist. Also free, also included, also 24/7, available to everyone with the subscription to MyTelemedicine. And this is what I would call, we jokingly say this is the man area, because sometimes if you're not ready to have a consult, you don't really want to go through the whole process. You just have a question, or you just want to see if you should see a doctor, that kind of thing. This is what that's for. These folks are specialists in different areas listed here. And if you have perhaps something that you want to question about, you don't need an entire consult. But I want to ask a pharmacist, look, I got some medicine for my cold. Now I'm going to a party. Am I able to drink alcohol at this party? I can write this question out, send the message. It doesn't go to my Google or my personal address or anything. It goes to my portal. The answer is going to be here. We really, we stress that it's within 24 hours that you receive a written reply. I've never had an experience over 2 hours. So it's an excellent thing, especially for moms who've got the kiddos with the sports stuff, anyone who's interested in the holistic, some specialties like psych, ophthalmology, general dentist, and so forth. These are available to everyone, and it's completely free. So let's go back to that dashboard to make sure that we're seeing all of the benefits that you get with your subscription. We've talked about the healthcare advocacy. We've talked about behavioral counseling. We've talked about message a specialist, the Ask an Expert service. Most people are going to call or use this service for the consult. That's kind of the claim to fame, right? That I, for no dollars at all, can speak to a real live doctor for a low acuity illness and get taken care of, prescriptions written as necessary. Super easy to do, lots of checks and checkpoints, but let's see how easily we can do this. Let's say I want to go ahead and schedule a consult. Again, the reminder, if this is an emergency, this is not the service you should be using. We've had husbands of a 9-month pregnant woman call and say, you know, can we talk to a doctor? And we're like, you know, why don't you head on over to the hospital and we'll chat on the way. So if there's anything emergency, you'll be directed to 911. Again, a reminder here. So these are all the options available to you with your membership. A reminder that everything is free. You can select that Ask an Expert service. You can have a consult by video. That is, you see the doctor's face, they see your face, or the very, very popular phone one. The reason we still offer the video is because in some states there are specific requirements where it is required that a video consult happen first. I believe Arkansas was the last state to do that. So they wanted to do a video first, and then any consult after that could be by phone. But for whatever reason, it needed to be video first. And we have a couple of different states that have different rules. By filling in the information of where the person is located, automatically the HIPAA restrictions will be applied. So any state restriction, HIPAA restriction that's like, nope, you have to do a video one, or nope, you have to do a phone one, or nope, you have to do 2 phone ones and a half a video, whatever the funky rule is, this is going to help be compliant. So let's say I've decided to have that consultation by phone. By far and wide, the most popular selection, I suspect generally because no one feels terrific when they wake up at 2 a.m. and have the flu and they really don't want to be videotaped, but that's just a guess. A lot of it is the convenience factor of doing it in the car and so forth. So I simply select that I am going to start a consultation, and that is all there is to it. I'm going to press continue. It's going to make sure that my electronic health records are up to date, check on the availability of me, where I want to be contacted, what state I am for compliance, details, get it on the schedule, my pharmacy of choice, billing, in this case, nothing, and finish, and boom, you're done. So we say that we can contact you for your consult within a couple of hours. I've never waited more than 20 minutes. It's a very, you know, if it's New York City at 2 in the morning, you may wait 2 hours. But for the greatest amount of us, it's going to be a very quick call back and a start. The example I like to use is I got sick when I first started working here. They reminded me I had this benefit. I was like, oh no. And so jumped on there, updated my electronic health records with the customer care specialist, and immediately was connected with a doctor. I had prescriptions in my hand in 40 minutes. So it's an amazing situation. So that is how the consult works. Now, after the consult, there's also some benefit. When you press this button, it'll have, let me show you this one. This is an example of, with my age just right there, here's how old I am. An example of a record of the actual consult that happened. So this consult happened. I was having a cough and cold type situation. It tells everything that I was fussing about, that was complaining about, my symptoms, anything I needed to tell the doctor about how I would feel. So after the consult, he determined it was acute bronchitis. He gave the consult notes up to date. We know exactly what was prescribed, and it's right here, and it's all in your records for your private eyes only. It also gives me the date and the physician in case I want to return to him for some reason, the ability to print out the consultation and to download the consultation. All consultations are recorded. All consultations are recorded. Video, telephone, everything. It's a three-way protection, primarily for the member, but also for our customer care team to make sure they're giving an absolute 5-star service that we require, and our physicians to make sure they're spending enough time with each patient and they are worthy of the mantle of my telemedicine doctor. At the time of the consult, you may also request a note, and that is if your employer requires a note for an absence or illness, or if your child's school requires a note, you can request it and boom, you'll have it. Okay, back to the dashboard. So major benefits include the actual consult, ask an expert, behavioral counseling, and healthcare advocacy. We also have a RX discount that comes with every membership. These are just a discount drug card, an option. It's not required, but it would just make it very easy and accessible to the member if perhaps they don't have insurance, or perhaps the insurance doesn't cover a certain drug. If they're looking for a different discount, here it is. These are evaluated from time to time. We recently changed from GoodRx to RX Valet because more of the prescriptions that were being prescribed by our doctors were cheaper with RX Valet. So that's just another benefit. That's an add-on. No one has to use it, but they can print it out. It's easy, it's convenient. So we're going to talk a little bit about that now that we've covered those actual benefits, some of the admin part. It's very, very simple. It's kept very clean. You do have a health records section, and this is everything for your EHR, your electronic health record. Again, this is printable, downloadable. You can download them, send them to your primary. You can do whatever you want with them. I like them for tracking, just so I know what's going on. And it's very basic information. It's just your personal information. This is who you are, what's going on with you, your medications. This is everything that you are on or have been on, even if you're no longer taking the medication, so that the doctor has a very good idea of what you are like health-wise in as far as an overview. Medical allergies, obviously very important. If you're unable to be near latex or can't use penicillin, anything like that, it's right there. And the medical history section, that tells you of anything that was a medical incident, like I had my gallbladder out on this date, or I did this on this date, or any chronic things. If you have something that you've suffered with long-term, the doctor needs to know that there's a continuing scenario with, those are listed here. We also have a section to upload documents. This is fantastic. So this is if you have an x-ray, if you have a document, if you have any photo of a rash, if you have lab results that you would like to talk to a doctor about, if you have any place, or if you just want to catch all for all your junk, you can put it right here, and it's saved and available to you when needed, and also available for your doctor to look at if it will help with the diagnosis, consult, or prescription. So these EHRs are kept up to date, and one of the cross checks we do for that to make sure that our members are getting the best possible care is when they call in and get that customer care specialist, the MyTelemedicine employee who's going to be like, hi, are you wanting to see a doctor? Did you want the doctor to call back at a certain time, or did you want to see a doctor as soon as possible? They're going to quickly go over your EHR, make sure it's up to date so the doctor doesn't have anything in his way between getting you the diagnosis that you need and prescriptions in your hand if that's necessary. So that's the basic EHR, the health records, and everything that it needs to be filled out. No panic if the member has not, we all intend to, but if the member hasn't had an opportunity to fill in everything, the customer care consultant is going to go over that EHR with them and help them out. So they're not going to just leave you. You don't have to blow it off. You don't have to stay, just call in, get that consult scheduled. We'll get this filled in and ready for the doctor as quickly as possible. One other area I want to touch on, we talked about that document management, and that's this upload portability scenario. We've talked about all of these other benefits. We do need to talk about how you actually add your dependents. So if you are on a family plan and you have the ability to add up to 7 members that you take care of health-wise, this is where you would do it. So this is kind of another administrative section, but if you do intend for dependents on your family plan to use the service, you need to get this filled out. And again, it's very, very simple. So here's all my personal junk. Here are my dependents. This tells me who they are. This gives legitimacy to them calling on my membership. And also, hold on one second. And the pharmacy, you step right into this slot and you put in exactly where you are, and around is going to populate every single pharmacy convenient to you that has electronic prescription capability. And that is what we use to quickly put our prescriptions prescribed by our doctors at the front of the line. Not meaning any inconvenience to anyone else, but if you have a consult in the middle of the night with a sick kiddo, you want that prescription ready when the pharmacy opens at 7 the next morning. So you go in here, populate the area. It's going to come up with your choices. You're going to select a preferred pharmacy. That way it's in place, and when the doctor does the consult, makes that diagnosis, they can go on and get that set up. And then finally, your password management, that's just protecting the strength and security. These are utterly secure sites. There is no worry. We have a security compliance officer. We are very careful. I'm showing you my own records because I am able to share with whomever I wish with my records, but no one can see your records or look at your records or examine, get into, change your records without your permission. Alrighty, so we talked a little bit about that account, the notification settings, where your messages occur. Let's stop real quick on the English tab. We have a lot of folks who are in Texas, Florida, California, and there's many bilingual Espanol speakers. We just want to indicate that our service has a completely Spanish capability. So not just the consult in Spanish, but everything in Spanish, so that might be more comfortable for someone who for whom Spanish is the first language, or whatever it is, completely and totally bilingual with the flip of a toggle. Hugely important. So I'm going to switch back to English because I don't speak Spanish. And that is your dashboard, a quick overview of everything your member receives, as well as the capability of the actual benefit. I'm going to